next bag of the Racing LC10B5 kit to be put together is bag B, which are the shocks. Let's tear into it and get started. Pretty nice looking shock shafts here. The 12 1x6 piston goes on the front shock shaft, and the 12 1.7s go on the rear. Just slide the piston on, a nice snug fit, and it is. And then one more E-clip on the back, just like that. Now you do this 4 more times, and you'll be good to go. Shock shafts done. The shock bodies out of the package. Sure do look nice in the package. Ooh, they are nice. Nice threaded bodies, beautiful aluminum construction, vintage shock caps. I'm loving the look of this already. Nice gold anodizing on the shock cap, or on the shock body. Black on the cap, black on the lower cap, and red on the shock collar. Nice looking shock. So make sure when you're putting these together that you put some oil on these O-rings. They'll just help the shock shaft move more freely, and your shock will just overall work better. Alright, step 2 of the shocks is done. They all have all of their O-rings installed inside of them. Moving on to the next step, which is putting the shaft into the shock body itself, which the initial setting is putting one 1mm spacer to limit the droop on the shock shaft. And they include a 2 and a 3mm washer as well for all 4 shocks. So right out of the box, plenty of extra settings to try. And there's a call out in the manual that when you're putting the shock shaft through the shock, do not press straight through or you will damage the O-ring. You have to rotate the shaft clockwise through the lower shock body assembly in order to avoid any damage. Yeah, that feels really nice. Wow. So very smooth. Loving that. Alright, now that you have all the shock shafts installed, we're going to move on to following steps and install a few more O-rings into the threaded collars and the shock caps. Holy cow, that's not something I expected. These lower shock caps are full aluminum right out of the box. That's normally not an upgrade you see on these cars. For example, the TLR and Associated, they come with plastic, and I don't think there's an upgrade aluminum at the time of this video. That's very impressive. Nice looking lower shock caps. Wow. Everything on this shock is aluminum except for the lower rod ends. That's really impressive for a relatively low-end 1/10 scale buggy. I gotta say, this car keeps surprising me. According to manual, you want to leave about a 1.5mm gap between the end of the shock shaft or the rod end and where the threads end on the shock shaft. So we'll do that. Now that all the rod ends are installed onto the shocks, all 4 shocks assembled, you can fill them up with oil. Now I've just got to set them in my Pit Pulse RC pit stand and fill them up with oil. You want to pump the shaft a few times to get the air bubbles out of underneath the piston, and then let it sit. Now I'll just let these sit, let all the air bubbles rise to the top, then I'll top off the oil, put on the shock cap, put on the springs, set them to the side, and that'll be the end of bag B. Now that all the bubbles have risen to the surface and popped, I'm going to fill up the rest of the shocks and then install the shock cap and bleed it. And just tighten the caps down all the way, and then you'll bleed them after you get them on using your bleed screw. And I've bled shocks before, but I recommend following the manual exactly as it says to bleed these shocks, so I'm going to do that. Alright, just putting in the last bleed screw, and these shocks will be bled and ready to do final assembly on. If it's bled correctly, when you pull the shaft down, you should be able to push it up, and it doesn't rebound much at all. These are bled correctly and ready to have final assembly done on them. So I'm going to turn the page. Grab my springs, shorter ones for the front and longer ones for the rear, obviously. I'm going to grab these nice aluminum shock caps included in the kit, slip them onto the rod end, slide the spring down, and that feels really nice. Bag B is finished now. On to bag C, but that will be for a different video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and don't forget to hit like, comment, and subscribe.